Peace and blessings, everybody. It is Monday, and as I say, it's kickoff time. The way that you start off your day and your week is what paves the way. This is yours truly, Amar Mari. I am the founder of El Kebalam Unity Alliance. We focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. My queen, Amani Amari, is the co-founder. And we're here to present to you content that's going to help you to evolve in your consciousness. Hopefully you are having a blessed day. And if you're not having a blessed day, hopefully this program will energize you to have a better day on the day. Playing in the background is sounds of Blackness Optimistic. That's what I am. I believe that you live the way you Blackness Optimistic. Got a special treat for you on the day. We're going to talk about being in this world and not of this world. Again, today's subject matter for the mastermind session is being in this world and not of this world. Thank you everybody for tuning in. James Farr, my good brother from another mother, all the way in the West Coast, giving knowledge and wisdom and understanding to the up. All right, family, we're going to talk about being in this world and not of this world. And as I aforementioned, this is your mastermind session. These sessions are to help you to master your mind. As I aforesaid in this beginning of this program on the intro, I stated that you live the way that you think. Some people, they become very overbearing, if you will, with being in this world and not of this world. They take things to the extreme. Some people have literally ridded themselves of everything. They don't have a cell phone. And to me, that's not very wise to do such a thing, because if something was to happen to you, then how would you be able to call for help, right? Then you have some that still use horses and carriages. And we're in modern day time. You know, we must evolve. We must evolve with time. It's very important. So many people, they get stuck in a certain era and they don't want to evolve with time. And what happens is businesses end up being shut down because of this. Also, people get lost. They don't know what's going on because they become extremists with, I'm in this world, but not of this world. They don't want to evolve with the time. They don't want to keep up with what's going on. So with that being said, we're talking about this from a spiritual perspective. So I just utilize that to bring out this session on today, that we have to be very careful, those of us who are of African descent, not to just continuously divulge and racist content. And the reason being for this is you will come to find that you will become a person that is very bitter, okay? And you'll become stagnant in your life because that's all you continue to consume spiritually. Now, if what you are consuming begins to consume you, that is a sign that you need to sever that from your life. It is okay to have pride in who you are. It is okay to research and find out what happened. But if that's all you're doing, you're just constantly watching content that is showing racist activity, then you're going to be a person that's going to become very bitter. And you will have no peace. You will find yourself being angry all the time because that is all you are putting inside of you. Whatever you put inside of you is going to come out of you. Just like whatsoever it is that you eat, you're going to excrete. All right? So whatever enters your body is going to exit your body. So whatsoever you deposit in your spiritual man is what is going to exude from you. It's so many brothers and sisters. Hey, peace and blessings to my good brother Hood Diesel in the building. Appreciate you, God. Thank you so much for tuning in. So what I've come to find is that some people, they become very bitter. And black power, black power, black power, black power, everything, and I'm thinking to myself, I say, you know what? It's more to life than our culture, our ethnicity. We have to understand that. Just like it's more to life than economics. It's more to life than health. Okay? It's more to life than cars and jewelry. It's more to life than taking vacations. It's more to life than our televisions and our PCs and talking on the cell phone all day. We have to have a healthy balance in our life. It is imperative that we have the knowledge of self, health, wealth, and we also must incorporate our spiritual health in our life as well. There are people that are spiritually ill. And the medicine to remedy the illness that we have, which is mental illness, and sometimes we always associate mental illness with somebody who we would label as being out of their mind. But if you look at that in the spiritual aspect, really the reason why a lot of people are not stable is because of they're not in their right mind. In other words, they're not walking a spiritual walk. And I'm not talking about in a religious text, if you will. There is more to life than what we see. Just like, the Transformer cartoons, the song, one of the lyrics in the song said, there's more than meets the eye. So it's more to life than what we see that is tangible. Okay, there are some internal things that we have to start working on in our life, and that's our mental faculty. We got to start ensuring that we're strengthening our mind, because so many people today, they get so caught up in materialistic things to where they totally overlook their spiritual life. And they're spiritually malnutrition. They're unhealthy. That's the reason why we have a lot of unhealthy social lives, because we're not dealing with our internal issues. We're just focused on external things, but we're not dealing with the internal things, which spills over into our life here on this side. We have to understand that we're a spiritual being having a human experience. It's not the other way around. Okay? And we have to focus on our internal side of the house. It's just like if you don't ensure that you're cleansing your kidneys, you're not drinking water, okay, it can cause kidney stones. Okay? So if you're not doing that, you're going to start having internal problems if you neglect your insides. If you're not eating your greens, if you're not eating your vegetables like kale. Okay? There's some other things out there. Myself personally, any greens, I normally like spirulina and things of that nature. It helps to flush out your insides. Because your colon is a healthy colon, a healthy stomach is key to your health, because that's where the nutrients of your body go to first. It goes inside, it goes internally, then it works its way throughout your body. Okay? So if you don't tend to your internal, then it's going to start externally as well. That's why people start having bad skin, and a lot of people start having bumps on their face. So what they're not taking care of internally is starting to manifest itself externally. It's the same way when it comes to your spiritual life. If you continue to consume intoxicating things that are toxic to your inner man, then you're going to come to find that your external world is going to be discombobulated. We must calibrate our lives spiritually in order to get our spiritual equilibrium, if you will, balance right. Because see, when your spiritual life is not balanced, is not stable, it's going to tip the scales in your life. You're going to be off balance. And this is the reason why a lot of people's lives is chaotic, because they don't understand. Like when you listen to gangster rap, you listen to those things, it brings down the vibration in your life. It is a negative vibration. Okay? It is nothing positive about that frequency. So this is the reason why in concerts and at clubs, when they start playing that type of music, look at what happened in the atmosphere. People start fighting, they start shooting. Because of the frequency. When you're constantly watching programs with violence and a lot of negative content, what you have done, you have welcomed, you've invited this spiritual atmosphere into your life of negativity, and then you're wondering why you're so depressed. If you're listening to songs like in R&B songs, right? And in those R&B songs, the man the man is talking about how the woman left him, and it's a sad song. Or the woman talking about how the man had left her. Now you have people who start crying, they start getting sad, they start, meditating on the relationship and, what the person did to them. So now their frequency, their vibration now is going down because of them exposing themselves to that negative energy. So we have to ensure that we're being wise with what we're exposing ourselves to. I'm not saying for you not to watch the news, but what I'm telling you is you have to be very careful about what you continue to watch and read and listen to. You got to watch your eye gate, your ear gate, okay? Because those are portals to your life. And those portals is what influences your mindset. Now, there are some religious teachings that are out there, and we have to be very careful about these teachings that are parasitic, that invites a lower frequency in our life. Like some religious teachings, they teach you, well, you're not worthy. So you'll go around saying, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of these blessings. I'm just a filthy rag. I'm just a wretch undone. I'm the scum of the earth. I'm just a worm. And this is the reason why People don't understand why they're never blessed. They have cursed themselves. Now it's a word curse. Now you have welcomed poverty into your life because you have deemed yourself by what you said as not being worthy of being prosperous in your life. You have to also be careful about the company you keep. What happens is sometimes we get caught up in personalities. Well, that's my mama, that's my daddy, that's my uncle, that's my cousin, and etc. And that's just your lower nature. That's not your higher self, because you need to understand this is the reason why some people, they get along with people that's not in their immediate family. It's because it's a soul tie. It's a spiritual tie. You and that person are on the same frequency. If you take two magnets and you flip those magnets over, right? Now, let this be symbolic of a turn in your life. Now you're living in a positive frequency, and now this person is remaining negative, right? We flipped. Okay? This person is going this way in life, you going this way in life. The reason why you don't gel is because you and that person are on two different frequencies. See, what you're getting caught up in is the outer appearance. Oh, that's my cousin, that's my auntie. So you're getting caught up in the humanistic nature of yourself, but you're a spiritual being having a human experience. And so some of us, we get so caught up in, well, this person, they left my life. Well, you shouldn't be sad about somebody exiting your life that wasn't meant to enter into your life. My daily prayer for my family and I pray and I invoke the presence of the protective spirits, and I ask them to connect me with those who are meant to be in my life and disconnect me from those who are not meant to be in my life. I don't have what some say, I don't catch feelings about things like that. There's nothing for me to be sad about because they weren't meant to be in my life. If they were meant to be in my life, then they would be a part of my life. And some of you have to understand that some people are not a part of the plan. And sometimes we hold on to things so long to where what is supposed to come into our life can't enter into our life because we're so consumed with what's not for us to where we can't have what is for us because we're holding on to what's not for us. And now we can't even walk in what is supposed to be in our life because we're holding on to what's not supposed to be. Right? So we have to become people that understand that we speak things into existence. Listen, it's not going to come into your life by prayer. It's not going to just come into your life by prayer. I know some of you, I believe in the power of prayer. All those things came into my life. But I do believe also that inclusive with action, those things happen. Push. The acronym for push is not just pray until something happens. It's perform until something happens. Okay, so you can have a double P there. Pray and perform until something happens. You can't just pray without performance. And then some people are wondering why things are not happening in their life is because you don't have any action behind your prayer. And so some of us, we get so heavenly bound to where we don't know how to function on the earth. And some of us get so earthly bound that we don't know how to walk in the spirit. Some of us are too worldly. We're too carnal in our thought process. And it hinders us. Now, one may say, well, what is being carnal? Okay, being carnal is being so consumed with this world to where you don't focus on your spiritual being, your mind. You don't focus on you evolving spiritually. You just focus on evolving financially or evolving, and meaning going to another level materialistically. And I assure you, I've heard the testimonies. In fact, Showtime, brother called Showtime that played football. He said, I had $1 million bed and I didn't have no peace. I couldn't even rest. There are numerous stars that had everything that one could fathom to have. And they killed themselves. They had the fame, they had the riches, they had the materialistic things, but they killed themselves. You know why? Because they were mentally ill. They were spiritually sick. They were outwardly well, but they neglected their inner man. They was too busy gratifying their lower nature. So stop entertaining the gossip. Stop going to the window when people are fighting and things of that nature and shooting, because there's some people that have gotten shot from a stray bullet because they stand in the window, you know, oh, look at that. Want to do World Star and all this other stuff like that. Instead of running away from the foolishness, they run to the foolishness and they end up losing their life or getting hurt. So this is what we have to do. We have to not gravitate towards negativity, because see, now if you're doing that, that means that your inner man still needs some work. That means that your inner man is still vibrating on a lower frequency. If that's what you're drawn to, then that means that's what's inside of you. For myself, I was drawn to a wholesome woman. I wasn't drawn to a woman of that has a provocative spirit or a whorish spirit. That's not what my heart desires. So because of the way I am internally, I was drawn to a woman in the same frequency. A woman that's pure of heart and that's upright. So that's what I was drawn to. So what do I magnetize in my life? I'm a serial entrepreneur on a positive level. So the people who I associate myself with is people who are vibrating on that same frequency. This is why you don't hear about Amar. You don't hear a whole bunch of negative things about Amar, because that's not the frequency I vibrate on. That's not what exudes from my life. And I don't position myself to be put in those situations. I've learned how to focus on what's important. This life is like a vapor of smoke. We're here 1 minute and we're gone the next. We focus too much on being human on this life rather than focusing on the afterlife. And some people, they focus so much on being spiritual to where they don't build any generational wealth to leave their family. Some people think they're such spiritual big houses to where they can just eat whatever they want because the Lord is going to bless my food. Listen, you can pray over rat poison and I promise you that you will be in the hospital or dead. Some people are spiritual extremists. It was a man that jumped into a lion's den because, oh, you shall tread upon scorpions and you know, lions, and you'll be defended against. And this gentleman foolishly jumped into a lion's den, and the lion almost had him for a meal. See, being a spiritual extremist. Then you have these people have these snakes wrapped around their arms. Oh, he shall protect us from scorpions. And they get bit by a snake and they die from the venom. Don't become a religious extremist. Don't become a ethnic pride extremist to where you start challenging your brothers and your sisters because they're not wearing red, black, and green. I'll never forget, I had a dialogue with my cousin. And he said this person tried to check him, all because because he rather didn't have on the RBG colors, which is the flag that Marcus Garvey created when he was part of the organization of UNIA, right? And where your red, black, and green at, my brother? Even Marcus Garvey didn't wear those colors like that. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't walk around like that all the time. Malcolm X didn't walk around like that all the time. Kwame Ture didn't walk around like that all the time. Neither did Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan don't walk around like that all the time. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing didn't do it. Winnie Mandela didn't do it. Need I say more? So don't become a cultural extremist. I dress like this all the time. Is that to say that my brother and sister is not proud of being who they are because they don't dress in modern day El Kebalan or traditional El Kebalan attire? There are people that laid down their lives for our rights that doesn't dress anything like me. Dress anything like me. And they laid down their lives. So we had to be very careful about ensuring that we don't get so consumed with things that we're listening to because people are brainwashed. And not in a good way. Because you can get brainwashed in a good way, believe it or not. You're brainwashed in a good way with good information. Your brain can be cleansed by good information. So brainwashing is not always a negative content. Okay? And see, some people, they don't see certain things as being harmful. No, it is full of harm. Oh, it's harmless. No, it's not less harmful. It will hurt you. What you listen to will hurt you. What you read will hurt you. What you watch will hurt you if it's not the right content. So again, be watchful about what you're watching on the news. You know what I'm saying? Police brutality, all these racist acts against us. Listen, family, be very, very careful about what you keep putting in yourself. Because I promise you, you're going to become what you keep listening to, what you keep reading. Okay, and what you keep entertaining is going to start affecting your personality. And it's going to influence your character. And you're going to start conducting yourself as such. As a mean, bitter, African descent person who has no spiritual basis in his or her life. And some, they focus so much on being African, they totally forget about our spirituality is a system of peace and of love. Ifa is peace and love. Voodoo is peace and love. That's what it's all about. Our good brothers and sisters that follow after the Kemetic teachings. Mayat is of love. Aset is of love. Mayat brings justice, right? So it's about us being just, being of love, being of peace, being of upright. We have to be fighters and lovers, yes. But we can't be fighting so much to where we forget about the love. And we can't love so much till we forget about that we need to fight. So find your equilibrium spiritually. Find yourself. Learn how to be able to function in this world and not be so caught up in spirituality you forget that you're here in this earth, and don't be so earthly bound that you forget about that you're a spirit being. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And a lot of you too, in closing, a lot of you have power. You got to start walking in your power and using your power. Okay, you got power. Power means to enable. The universe has enabled you to do things, but I truly believe that the universe helps those who help themselves. So use your giftings to be a blessing in your life. Use your giftings to be a blessing in your life. Nothing is going to move until you move.